Hi guys, for today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you some useful mechanics with recoveries, which is one of the most important things to learn in Rocket League if you're wanting to improve your game speed. So to start off, I just want you to go into free play and throw in a load of awkward flips, and when you're throwing in these awkward flips, try to land on your wheels. Whether that be on the ground, the ceiling, or on the side walls over here, or on the backboard as well. When you're landing on the side walls, it's quite important to land with your nose facing down. It's not entirely important, because if you're heading up along the side wall like this, then you can still get back quickly. But yeah, if you end up sort of coming up to the backboard with your wheels facing up, you lose a lot of momentum. Whereas if you do it with wheels facing down, without air rolling in the wrong direction, yeah, you can carry up that momentum to take you back down to the ball. So too often do I see players in the lower ranks coming up to a wall like this, they'll hit the ball and then bang, flat, or bang, not knowing what to do then. Whereas if you can utilise this thought process of getting back onto your wheels once you've hit the ball, or even if you miss the ball, just land on your wheels. Pay attention. The way to do this, you pay attention to your car for quite a lot of it. So once you've hit the ball, just watch your car, make sure you got your wheels sorted. Eventually it becomes second nature and it becomes muscle memory, and you'll be fine. But in the meantime, I would recommend watching your car. So the other thing to pay attention to is when you are landing from your wall, it's quite important to land with the wheels facing the direction in which you want to travel. Because if you land like this, for example, momentum's dead. There is a trick you can do to continue your momentum, and that is to use your e-brake or your Powerslide, so that if I was to do exactly the same thing there and face the wrong way, but I continue my Powerslide, which I've got set to my square button that you'll see in this controller overlay, I continue my momentum despite landing facing the wrong way, and then I can throw in another flip to get my wheels facing the right way. This little simple thing is probably the main difference between Platinum and Diamond. Platinums will go up for the aerial, hit the side wall with their nose of their car and kill their momentum, which means that they cannot get back into the play as quickly as possible. Whereas in Diamond, you'll see them landing on their wheels, whether it's on the wall, whether it's on the floor. They tend not to do it on the ceiling. That's something that tends to be more of a high champ thing. But yeah, certainly on the ground, they tend to land on their wheels most of the time. Adding the Powerslide into it is something that you don't tend to see into a champion, because people are just focused on getting on their wheels. They're not so focused about carrying on the momentum. So adding in your Powerslide if you're facing the wrong way, and then adding a flip, this is something you'll see the pros do all the time, and it's very much essential. You will notice 90% of the time watching Squishy Muffins or Justin or any of the pros really, when they are playing, if they are finished with an aerial, you will see them holding their Powerslide button in order to get them to land. That's if you watch their streams where they've got the controller overlay. Obviously you won't see that controller overlay in any competitions, but you will notice that when they land, they are able to flip immediately. Because the other thing is, if you land without Powerslide and then you try and flip immediately, it's certainly not as fast. You do not get half as far across the pitch as if you Powerslide first. So the next thing we can implement into this training session is the half flip, which is essentially just a cancel flip with an air roll in it. This can be particularly useful if you find yourself sort of stuck behind the ball like this. Say that ball, the net in front of the ball there is your net and you need to get there quickly. Utilising that half flip from a slow perspective is really good, because it's the fastest way of turning your car around from a stationary position, or if you're reversing. So to make half flips easier for yourself, what I would recommend doing is going into your options, going into your controls and viewer change bindings. Scroll down until you find this air roll right and air roll left buttons here. As you notice, my air roll left is set to L3, and that is how I can manage to do this in all one nice easy motion without having to press an additional button, take my focus away from any of the buttons I'm already pressing, and I can just easily push it all in one motion. You can do it by just cancelling the flip, holding your air roll button and then using your analog stick, but since you're already using your analog stick to push forwards and back, it makes it a little bit more difficult. You can find yourself doing things like that where you're going sideways, and it just makes it more difficult for me personally. For you it might be completely different, and you might find yourself it might be easier for you. So to slow down the half flip, what we'll do first of all is, if we're driving forward, for example, we do a front flip. Instead of doing completing the full front flip, once we get halfway, oh, I just threw the full half flip there. I'll do it going backwards now. So once we're driving backwards, do the back flip and then just cancel it by pushing the analog stick in the opposite direction to which you're flipping. So that one was a back flip. If I do it for a front flip, I am pushing the stick backwards once I've started the front flip, and then backwards I'm just pushing the stick forwards again. Once you've got this down, then you can add the air roll. Like I say, map that button for the most easy solution. I know people who are higher ranked than I am who still have it set to the L1 and moving. It's really not a case that one is better than the other. It all comes down to personal preference. Yes, so once you've managed to get this air roll motion, which is done once your car is upside down, do not do it before, or you end up with a very dodgy half flip and it's very difficult to control once you land again. So yeah, once you get it upside down, then you can add in the air roll, and you'll notice that when I'm upside down, I am literally just pushing that L3 button. So next up in our little recovery tutorial, we're going to learn about wave dashing. Now, wave dashing is something that probably came about maybe about a year ago, maybe a bit more, probably a bit over a year, where it's most useful when you're dismounting from a wall. So say you're up on a wall here, you can get all the momentum of a flip whilst not actually flipping, which is really useful, particularly in 1v1s or something. If you have to stay grounded, then you can just dismount from a wall, use your front flip, but you're still on the ground. So to do this, go up the side wall, and then when you're jumping off, pull your analog stick diagonally down and towards the wall in which you're facing. When you do that, you want to be holding air roll as well, of course. So hold air roll, pull your analog stick down it and to the right if you're on the right wall, or left if you're on the left wall. And then once you get those back wheels, as soon as those back wheels touch that ground, you want to be doing your front flip, because your front flip is going to just send the front of your car hurtling down, slam it into the ground, and you'll get all the speed pickup of a front flip without actually having to do the front flip. If you notice there, I actually went supersonic, so you see there, that's supersonic just from a wave dash off the wall. If you don't do a wave dash off the wall, it's a lot slower, as you can see there. So once you've got all these things into your repertoire, practice one at a time, don't practice them all at once. But once you have got them all absolutely nailed, then you can just throw these all in at once. Just drive around, go up the side wall, throw in a wave dash, and then try a half flip that I just messed up. You can do this off the ceiling because you get unlimited flip usage when you drive off of a surface if you don't jump. That's another thing for recovering as well. If you're in the goal, sometimes, almost always, instead of actually having to turn around, if you're in your opponent's net for example and you have to turn around like that, it's very slow, and you're not going to get back into your play very quickly. So what I like to do is I like to air roll and then chuck in a flip, just a forward flip, and then that allows me to get back into the play as fast as I can. Some people I do see, they get the air roll and then they just do their wave dash, and it's really just almost just as fast. I personally think that it is faster throwing in the flip, but it's obviously less controlled because you're in the air for a lot longer when you're actually in there doing the flip. So hopefully with these little tips for recovery, then that will make you a faster and better Rocket League player. You will quite often see professionals such as Justin and Squishy in particular, the sort of mechanic gods that they are. You'll quite often see them messing about in free play, doing these half flips and wave dashes and power slides, just trying to keep up their speed. They'll just chase the ball around the pitch, utilising these power slides and up the boosts, and then they'll try all their nutty ceiling shots and everything too. But yeah, that should be all you need to improve your game speed, and hopefully that's gonna help you progress to the next level. So hope you all enjoyed the video, and happy ranking up.